Awesome. Hey, folks, I am here with Nick Sonnenberg, and we are totally getting excited about conference. In fact, we were just chatting about it. We were chatting about his new book coming out. But Nick, first of all, thank you so much for being here and speaking at the conference. And give people a little background, because I know you've consulted with crazy big people, NASA, ClickFunnels. What do you do, and what are you going to bring for the
Oh,
people this year?
I'm so excited for your conference, and I'm honored that you've asked me to speak because you have a powerhouse lineup. So to be on that lineup is really an honor.
Yeah.
Um, well, what we do at my company Leverage is we help organizations and companies get more efficient. The most valuable asset that we all have is our time. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. And so we found a lot of common issues that you could be a two-person coaching company, you could be 100,000 person consumer packaged goods company,
Wow.
and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter your industry or size. Actually, if you're smaller, it's an advantage because it's harder to make changes and issues just compound, whether it's operational issues or other. So the smaller the better. But we found it could be any size, any type of industry. But there's always kind of the basics that every business needs in order to operate efficiently. And
Mm,
most companies and most people, and I fell into this, I don't know about you, but you're moving so fast, you have to cut corners because it's like you're just trying to keep up, and then you
yes.
fall underwater, and then you have no breathing room, and then any change that you need to make is really difficult because you're scrapped for time. And it's just
Yeah.
this like cycle, right? Where it's like, oh man, well, I don't have time to fix this because I've got 500 customers to deal with and they're writing me in and I got to deal with that. So making sure that you have that foundation where you're maximizing not just your own productivity, but what I'm
Mm,
passionate about is how do you maximize a entire team or company's productivity, right? So
wow.
productivity is necessary but not sufficient for a company to be productive. You need collaboration, coordination. Sometimes people have to sacrifice a little bit of their productivity in order for the greater good of the team.
Ooh,
So
that's good.
we found this pattern and we're maximizing tools that are on the market that you might either not know about or you might be using, but you just might not be even scratching the surface of what you could be doing with those tools. And in a very short period of time, we find you can easily be saving 5 hours a week per person in a company.
5 hours a week, some serious cash, especially when you are small, even big. But that could be the difference, between some big profits. So you even helped our team. You had this diagram where you showed that if you have like one person, and then you added a second one and you showed the communication, then you added a third and it got
Yeah.
exponentially crazier. My team loved that because it basically says that when you add a person, you add complexity. Can you explain that? Because I know a lot of our audience are um, solopreneurs, or they're starting to build their teams, and now's the time to figure this thing out before it gets super big.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's the slide. I'm planning on going a bit deeper at the conference on this concept, but not to not to kind of blow any surprises on it. The idea is most people make the mistake of they think that we need to oh, we're out of bandwidth, we're underwater, which is underwater is the most common thing you hear, which is why my new book is called Come Up for Air.
Come up for
Um,
air. I love it.
um, but everyone makes the same mistake where they're like, "Hey, I'm underwater. We don't have enough bandwidth. Let's hire more people." And that's the number one solution or knee-jerk reaction to that problem. But the diagram you're talking about, what I show is actually every person, every node you add to your team adds exponential complexity, meaning there's more ways for information to get lost in the mix, you know? So, you could also think of it like, you know, the whole concept of too many cooks in the kitchen. You could hire a private chef to cook a dinner and you'll get the dinner cooked at a certain speed, and maybe you hire a sous chef or someone to support. But at some point, if you pack 20 chefs in that kitchen, everyone's going to be getting in the way of each other. And
Wow.
sometimes, the cheapest way to hire and to scale is not necessarily adding more people, but it's making every person in the company more efficient. You can save, you can get, if you can avoid hiring, if you're 9 people and you're thinking of hiring that 10th person, if you were to get every person 5 to 10% more efficient, you can not just avoid that whole salary, but also you've avoided that complexity jump of going from 9 nodes to 10 nodes,
Mm.
which adds exponential complexity, right? So it's really just amazing the bottom line revenue impact that this stuff makes in terms of avoiding hiring, but also making each person just more efficient, more productive, and happier. People don't like being on a scavenger hunt. People,
Yes.
high level people, aside, sure, we all want to maximize profits, but also you want to retain your good staff.
Mm.
And and people leave for a number of reasons, but one of which is they get burnt out, or they're not happy anymore. And part of that is related to they are just bombarded with crap work. Like, people don't like spending 10 hours a week searching for files because things are disorganized. You know what I mean? So if you can, it's the whole Dan Sullivan is
Oh yeah.
going to be having a segment at your conference. He talks a lot about unique ability, right? And I'm really aligned with that. I want people to work on things that give them joy or tap into their unique ability. Living in the scavenger hunt and searching for crap and not being able to find stuff and chasing people and not knowing, like, did Kary give me that, or not getting a response? That's all crap that no one in any team, any industry likes to do. And a lot of this can be solved with proper usage of systems and tools.
That's so good. In my book Unhackable, I did a lot of research about the happiest people in life. And it's true that happiness comes from progress. So I hear what you're saying. You're saying if you don't set your team up well to succeed with systems and tools, they're going to be not accomplishing things. And as a result, their morale is going to drop and they're going to be unhappy people. Let's talk about that psychological toll of having today, did the person reach out to me on my text message, my Facebook Messenger, my Slack, my Basecamp? Like, talk about the weight and the pain of too many tools, and how we get stuck today.
Well, probably a mistake that people make too is they think, oh, I heard about this tool, that's going to solve all my problems. And a tool is only as good as knowing when to use it and how to use it, right?
Mm.
And so a mistake could be you might have too many, right? You have to balance it. You don't. Some companies that we've consulted, and they're people, I'm not going to name names, but you would have heard of them. They've operated just off of text, and pretty much text for everything, for internal communication, external communication, project management, documenting things. So that's probably not enough tools, but at the same time, you don't want to have 20 places to look. So you have to find that happy medium. And kind of the core of my book, and something that we're going to be talking about deeper at the conference, is my operational efficiency framework, where there are kind of a minimum amount of tools and categories that you need to have in order to be efficient. And it's that's that happy balance of not too many, but also just enough. Each tool should serve a purpose. And when you start hacking, unhackable, hacking tools to solve problems that they weren't built for, things can cause problems.
Yeah.
But again, it's not just about time savings, it's about culture and happiness, right? To me, communication, like, if you think about what's the definition of communication, it's the response that you get, not give. And if you are living in a team where you're not getting responded to, either because most of the time you don't get a response, not because people are trying to be rude, it's because they're so disorganized that they don't see the message, right? And so a lot of friction, aside from time savings and increase of profit, indirectly, the the culture boost that you get from having people that can, decrease their stress because they know that they have a trusted system. They know where to look to get an answer. They know that someone's going to respond, and they don't have to kind of subconsciously be stressing in the back of their head, oh my god, like I don't trust that Kary's going to get back to me because, like, you know, it's happened 10 times already that I haven't heard back. So I have to, like, create my own systems to chase people. And that's
Mm,
where things really start kind of going in the wrong direction. So
yeah.
if the team trusts the system and everyone is on the same page and everyone's aligned, hey, this is where we go for this. This is how we work for this thing. This is how we're going to work for this thing. This is how we're going to work. It really decreases people's stress. It allows people to be able to go on a vacation and enjoy themselves because they know that things will be able to move forward and they're not a bottleneck. So
That is
it,
so good. That is so
it's
good.
yeah, it's really impactful. It really increases team member retention, which obviously retention is going to help you drive more profit in the long term. It helps you if you have to make a hire, make it way easier to get people up to speed rather than it taking, say, 6 months for someone to start really adding value. If you could cut that down to 6 weeks, that's much better too.
It's huge.
Also, it de-risks your business. If someone leaves, you're not going to be stuck like you might be currently. So, to grow a business, you have to move faster forward, but also you have to minimize the risk of moving backwards. And a lot of us are so focused on, oh my God, I need to do all these marketing activities and grow my revenue and do this. And that's all important. But are you building the foundation to scale? And are you de-risking the business so that inevitably things happen? No one was expecting a pandemic. Are you prepared for the next thing? Are you prepared if your head of finance leaves tomorrow? Where does
Mm,
that leave you? So this stuff helps you save time, move faster forward, but also it kind of makes your company unhackable in the sense
yeah.
that if anyone leaves, you don't have kind of a single point of failure.
I love it. I love it. And just to make me smile, can you show me your shirt?
Oh yeah, there you go. How do you like
Oh
that?
yeah. All right. All right.
Your unhackable book box was great. I wear this shirt all the time. It's so soft.
See, people tell me that it's really soft. Yeah, totally. Well, even your little tip, do not use email for what? Team communication. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so we have this framework CPR, communicate, plan, resource. And first you have to understand when should you use a communication tool versus a planning tool versus documenting knowledge. But within
Mm,
communication, a big issue that we see is people don't have a strategy in terms of what communication tools they should be using. So really quickly, what we recommend is text should be for personal, email should be for external. So a client or a vendor or a partner. And then there's tools like Microsoft Teams or Slack, which are really built for team communication. And there's specific functionality that these tools have that make it more robust for a team to collaborate. You could have channels based off of topics, right? You can remove yourself from a channel if you don't need to hear it anymore. You can have third-party integrations into this thing. So if you build it outright, you can turn this into like a command center of information
so
without
good.
having to leave it. Not to mention, from a productivity standpoint and an unhackable standpoint, segmenting, hey, this is where I go for external, this is where I go for internal. From just a pure productivity standpoint, you now can take back control of how you want to prioritize your day. If you're in
So good.
sales, it's probably more important for you to live in email and try to close those deals. If you're in HR, it's probably more important for you to be living inside of Slack or Teams and dealing with team member stuff. Whatever it is, it at least gives you the control to be able to make that decision of how you want to construct and architect your day or your week versus when you have to look everywhere for everything, you can't prioritize that. You can't even go on vacation properly because you're getting hit from every different angle. So
Yes.
separating things out so that they live in nice little compartments is really helpful.
Man, I'm excited, and in fact, our team, it's not like we're voting on who's going to be the best. But our team is like, I got to be at Nick's because, you know, we have a lot of team members who are wired like you, but they haven't been given like the clear path yet. So we are so excited for this. Folks, Ricky's going to drop in the link for ignitingsoulsconference.com. You're putting a book together on this topic, but we're going to be the first group to hear this, you know, at least lately. So so you would tell people if they need systems and if they need tools and to know how to use them, they're going to get that at your session.
Yep. And if they feel like there's an opportunity somewhere and they just haven't been able to put their finger on it, that, hey, I know it doesn't need to be this hard. And I know that if I want to grow the business, the way I'm currently doing things is not going to scale the way that I'm hoping it will. You know, we're going to be having a discussion on that.
Perfect. And if people are saying, I can't wait till October, where is a good place they can find you? We'll drop in that link.
Well, my website's getleverage.com, and I've written a lot of art. I'm a writer for Inc., so if they just go and look up, you know, Nick Sonnenberg Inc., there's a lot of articles that we've written about this. But really, you know, the book coming out, you know, early next year is going to be really the first kind of core content that we're publicly sharing. Obviously, for our clients, we have proprietary stuff that we work with our clients, but they could go to getleverage.com. They could check out the Inc. article, check out my podcast, the Leverage Podcast. But probably, you know, your conference isn't too far in the future, so
yeah,
they might just have to wait for the conference to learn about
that's stuff, right. You know? That's right. I love it. Well, Nick, this is great. I know we got to hang out in Texas. Anytime I get to hang out with you, man, it's like you blow my mind. So, so thank you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you in October.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.